right, time to have a reasonable conversation about books and libraries and kids. This is such a, there's a story, both of these are written by Taylor Seeley over at the Arizona Republic. Patricia, I'd love for you to weigh in on this because you have a child that obviously can read.
Yes.
You have a child that's in the public schools that probably frequents a library. How do you feel about access, without your knowledge, access to certain books? Is it something you don't have a problem with them making sure you know before she sees them?
You know, it's funny that you say it like that because before all of this talk about what books are there, I never even thought that that was a question. Why would you have books like that for our young kids?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just...
So I had a friend of mine send me, coincidentally, last week. I hadn't really talked about it, but I had someone that I know down at the state legislature was visiting some of the schools and sent me pictures of some of the books and how they're featured in school libraries and the high school kids. But some of these books have graphic content in them. And you know, when you go to a Barnes & Noble, you go to a bookstore, they feature books where there's some that are on the shelf and there are others that are turned cover facing so you can see the book itself.
Right.
Well, a lot of these books are have graphic depictions in them, and this is the question. And I think it needs to be established just for the sake of this conversation. You've known me long enough now. We work closely together. We share an office. Neither one of us could be considered by anyone that knows us prude.
Oh, no, not at all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I know what you're trying to say. Like, we're not just saying, like, these books shouldn't be in schools.
Yeah, I'm not offended by language or by off-color jokes.
Like a sailor.
Yeah, but also the jokes and the humor and the stuff that
we're aware of that. There's an appropriate time and place for that, and we partake in that. Okay, so then we're not children.
So this is the thing. There are plenty of things that you talk about with your friends, and there are plenty of things you share with your friends in a text exchange that you wouldn't show your daughter.
Yes.
Am I right?
Sometimes I make sure I'm like, wait, let me have my phone before you start going through things.
Right.
Because she's opened messages before. I'm like, no, you got to be careful.
That's the point, though, right? Is that if it's, and this is where this whole conversation bothers me, because there isn't another situation where you would allow it to happen. Now, back in the day, I'm gonna talk about how old I am now. Back in the day, when you would go to Blockbuster or Primetime, whatever the video rental places were, if they had the ability to rent adult videos, they were in a completely separate section with a door that you could only be 21 going to.
Yeah.
You couldn't even go in there.
Right.
I talked with Sharp this morning about this. When I was a kid, one of the things that was the most popular in a Circle K or a 7-Eleven was the magazine rack. They're still in grocery stores, but they're down an aisle somewhere. That used to be the first thing you saw when you walked in the door. And we would go to the local Circle K on the corner, that actually was called Little General store. The Little General. And we used to go into the store, and we knew the people that worked there. We'd buy a soda, and we'd read Sports Illustrated. And later on, when I got older, I would read, Muscle and Fitness, and they would let you stand there and just kind of read the magazines.
I remember going in for those like teen magazines.
Right.
Yeah.
They were very popular. They also sold adult magazines. Mm-hmm. Those were kept behind the counter
and usually high up.
And they were covered.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The covers were covered up. So you might be able to see the title, but you couldn't see any of the pictures even on the cover. Was that book banning?
No, that's like that's a grading system, I think, like rated R kind of stuff.
Cigarettes are kept behind the counter. They don't even have, I don't even know of a place that has cigarette machines anymore.
Yeah.
You can't sell cigarettes to kids. You have people that the law enforcement, the liquor department, I don't know if it's called alcohol, whatever the liquor enforcement people here do, they'll take adults, young adults, 18, 19 years old, and they will take them still out to try to buy liquor at a convenience store. And if they don't get carded, the person behind the counter has to go to court. Mm-hmm. So we do liquor enforcement. No one's calling that banning.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not banning liquor. We're not banning cigarettes.
It's like crowd control.
I don't know of another, and I'm trying to rack my brain and think about this. I cannot think of another adult you would allow to have your child have access to this.
Yeah, that's crazy talk.
If there was a book, even if it was catering to young people, which we all know that there are books that cater to young people, but it had graphic depictions of sex. I don't care if it's a heterosexual or homosexual sex, gay sex, it doesn't matter. If it had graphic depictions of sex and your daughter went to someone else's house and she was reading that book at someone else's house, you'd lose your mind.
Right.
But somehow it's book banning if we say she can't have
Take it out of the
access to it at a library.
Yeah.
Am I missing something?
Not at all. And like I said, I never even knew this was an issue until it became, where my child was in reading level, because I never even thought they would have those kind of books. I never had those kind of books in school.
And the when in doubt, leave it out is what we've all been told in radio from our beginning days in radio.
School is a place I never thought I had to worry about my child doing anything like that.
And so what is it that makes a segment of our society, first of all, think it's okay to expose children to this, but second of all, to demonize people like me or you that says kids shouldn't have just ready access to this. They should have parental permission. It's not banning books.
Do they go back to the whole First Amendment? This is our freedom of speech, and that's why it's in our books.
Then stop with the age verification and pornography online. Put the Penthouse magazines in the magazine rack next to Sports Illustrated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all First Amendment.
Right, it's all First Amendment. It bothers them.
It is wild. It's a little crazy.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch and listen to the new season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.